and welcome back to another video. Today going to be having a very first look at Event Lab here on Forza Horizon 5. So it's the new feature that allows us to build, well, whatever we want effectively. A bit like think of it, well, I'm hoping it's going to be a bit like Super 7 was on Horizon 4, but with multiplayer added to it, if you like, because that was always the big disappointment with that, was that it wasn't. I don't know if we can Event Lab everything, or if it's only the ones with little things next to it. We'll find out as we go along. But I believe you can make events a bit like Super 7, but also make race blueprints. So if you make a custom route, I believe you can also use Event Lab option objects and things, which is probably the bit I'm more interested in. So we will get to that when we get to that, because I'll probably end up spending a bit longer than that. I just want to take a first look at it here at we're going to start at the stadium. That seems the most obvious place to start with. So yeah, here you can either browse events people have made, which we might take a look at a bit later in the video, or we can make our own. So I don't really know what I'm doing here, so there'll probably be many bits of sped up footage throughout the video, and if I find anything interesting, which hopefully we will. Anyway, for now I'm just going to go anything goes. This is just going to be a very first quick look, and then I'll probably time-lapse myself building something hopefully vaguely interesting. At the moment I'm not liking this. This is unnecessarily fiddly, so I'm going to play about with it a bit longer, and hopefully in a minute we'll be able to actually place some objects and stuff. Oh, okay, so that was to make a blueprint. So if I actually want to... I can create new. Yes. Oh, excellent. Okay, this is more like it. So that's what you want to do. You have to go into the route and go and create route if you actually want to build something. The rule type and all of that nonsense is a separate problem. Oh, it is that. Open library. Yes. Look, so we've got many ramps and platforms, which is always brilliant fun. Many signs and flags, which is also brilliant. I mean, just imagine this as a racetrack, because this kind of random stuff in here. What just happened? Why have I got music? Forza. I hope that music doesn't have any copyright attached to it, so we'll quickly scroll through this and I'll carry on talking, because otherwise... why has it done that? But this gives you an idea of all the objects we've got. There's loads more than Super 7. There's even Fail's favourite beer can one. Then there's many fences and walls, literally everything. And apparently if it's got that little symbol next to it, it's destructible. So, yeah, there's quite a lot of options. There's speed cameras, chests, there's just loads, really. I mean, you can place an aeroplane if you really wanted to. Do you know what?
Let's put it somewhere.
Oh my god. Wow. Wait, can I just put an aeroplane in the...
Check this out.
I mean, that is amazing. Right. So, yeah, there's many more options. Industrial things, urban-y things. I mean, just look how much there is. I'm so excited about this. This is the biggest new feature that I was really looking forward to. So I'm just so enjoying playing about with it. Obviously there is an T-Rex and many plants. Tree. Lots of trees, all of which are very green. Yes. So yeah, I'm just well, okay, so that gives you an idea, like, what you can do, what you can place. The rule set thing is confusing me a bit, but you could just import rules like King, for example, or Flag Rush, So you could make your own map with props and stuff in here, and then set up a Flag Rush game, for example, I believe. But anyway, like I said at the beginning, the bit I'm most interested in is building circuits. So I'm going to get out of here, choose a good starting location, and try and build a track, I think. So I've fast travelled here to one that doesn't have the little Event Lab symbol on it, and I think what it is the Event Lab thing is if somebody else has made a route here that they're suggesting I might want to play. I think that's why it shows that sometimes. And the other ones, I believe I can still make something. We will find out. Okay, so I believe because we've got Events Lab and everything in here, I can now just open the library and put whatever I want in here. Which is excellent. So I can put, well, all my checkpoints. And then I can come in and place some objects. So, yeah, I'm going to do that very quickly. Okay, so I've just placed the checkpoints, and I'm slightly worried that if you drive as far as the finish line, you can't then go and place objects. Because it kind of made me complete the route, and there was no way to go back without either quitting and losing everything or saving it. So hopefully I can go in and edit it again. Right, apparently not. So I think once you've gone along, you can't then drive back to place objects. So I'm going to have to do it again, placing objects as I go. So I've just made the route again, and I'm going to save over the Route 1 route. It didn't record, so... what does that say? Sure. I'll just call it Route 2, because it's not letting me do that. So I will take you on a quick drive, a quick lap round it, because I believe you have to test it, and explain a couple of things. It's a bit fiddly, nothing snaps to each other. A bit like it is in Super 7, so that's a bit of a faff. The object limit is also quite annoying, although you seem to, as you go round, have more limit than you think, because I think if you use the same object more than once, it takes up less capacity, if you like. But yeah, it works quite well. You can place checkpoints just like you can in other... Right, forget the name. Yeah, it's not worried. I don't want it called Stadium, so I'm just calling it something else. Loading times in this game are still a pain. Why am I here? It thinks I'm at the stadium again for some reason. So, it would appear I've got into it again. I had to exit out and find it, but it's fine, it had saved, so I don't have to rebuild it. So now I can show you what's going on here. So, there's many props and things. There's these kind of barriers, which I can show you. Look, they're all a bit... because nothing snaps, it's almost impossible to fit it together. Obviously, there's a T-Rex, because there has to be, and trucks and things, but yeah, it's a bit fiddly to do, and a lot of things, that's basically the only indestructible barrier you can put in. All the others you can sort of crash through. You can put objects as well, that rock on the inside I've put there. But yeah, some of the corners like this one I didn't want to put barriers on, I put sort of things on the inside to prevent corner cutting, but I kind of wanted to put big barriers on the outside of all of the corners, but for prop limit you probably can't do that. I could have squeezed a few more in than I've put, I think. I think I'm at about 70% prop limit here. But, like, that is not really a suitable barrier for that corner. I mean, yes, you don't have to put the grandstands and some of the other bits and pieces I've put around, but for the atmosphere of a racetrack, you kind of want them, like that massive beer can over there. So, potentially it would work quite well if you made quite a small circuit. You'd have enough props to sort of have them going all the way around in a balanced sort of way. And if these barriers weren't destructible, then you wouldn't have to worry about it on corners like that. But I think I've made a fairly cool little track, just my first messing about with props. But yeah, as you can see, it's all a little bit janky, it doesn't quite fit together, and I've spent quite a long time matching them up and lining them up carefully. So if you drove somebody else's route that they'd thrown together quite quickly, it might not... some of the creations might end up being a bit odd. I mean, you can put all this stuff floating in the air if you really want to. Another example of where I've kind of used a smaller barrier than I would have liked. And then as we get towards the end, that sort of thing there. I know they've said they're going to do updates and things, but yeah, I think we need two things. We need increased prop limit, not necessarily by much, maybe 50% increase at most would be fine.
Well, that seems
And...
like it worked. You've made a brand new event. Surely the first of many.
And the other thing they need is for things to clip together better, because that is quite irritating. I don't think I did too badly for a first go at that, but it's just a bit irritating. It's going to take longer than it should to build things. But yeah, overall I like it. It's there. It's a feature that we've wanted for ages. Like when Super 7 came in, we said, why can't we just have props as that? I don't know why it's insisting on putting me at the stadium. That is also quite irritating, but yeah, it's a fun little feature, and hopefully that gives you guys an idea what it's like. I did probably take 45 minutes to an hour building that, so it is quite fiddly and does take quite a lot of time, which hopefully they'll fix in updates. But like I said, I'm really pleased it's here. I love these creative sort of things. You've seen on streams and things how many hours I've spent building things on dirt games. But I think that probably will do for today's video, taking a very first look at it, kind of figuring out how it all works and eventually managing to create a route. I think if I go to a route first and I know to place props before I start doing checkpoints, or as you go round you place the props alongside the checkpoints, then it's fine. And I don't know why it keeps sending me back to the stadium. I think that's because I tried to blueprint an event here first, so yeah. I need to figure that out. That won't be all for that. That'll just be a first look, kind of showing you guys, well, how intuitive it was, which it wasn't very to begin with. It's a bit of a pain, but kind of showing you my first experience of the blueprints, as well as hopefully giving you some idea how it all works, and some of the problems and difficulties I've had with it. But yeah, I'll definitely build more of these, whether it's on a video or a stream, and I would quite like to take a look at some community-made ones as well. But yeah, for a first look at Events Lab and a first sort of track that I've built, I think that is going to have to do it for today's video. So yeah, that is probably going to be all. So thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy it and you'd like to see more similar content, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back with the next video very soon.